Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, is going to be why I DNF'd hidden bodies. So before I get into this, I just want you guys to know that I don't really do book reviews because I feel like that's you gotta be good at them, and I don't really know how to elaborate on my thoughts quite yet. But if you do want to see book reviews, I will totally do them because I love reading. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but I do love reading. I just always get scared that I'm not going to elaborate on what I think, and people are gonna jump the gun in the comment section, which hardly anyone ever watches me anyway, so I don't know why I'm worried about that. Also, I DNF'd this novel, so there is a slight chance that there'll be some spoilers, but at the same time, I didn't finish the book, so I'm not gonna really be spoiling a lot. But if you're one of those people that don't want any spoilers, feel free to exit this video. I will not be offended. I have plenty other videos that you guys can watch. And if you're okay with being spoiled of what happens in the book, or you've already read it, keep watching it. I felt a moral obligation to talk about the You series, only because when did the You book, when did You come out? I'm not really sure when it came out, but I read the novel in the beginning of 2017. I read it in a single day, and I literally fucking loved it. It was my favorite book of 2017. I could go on and on about why it's so great, but I also feel like there are a lot of YouTube videos out already about why the book is so great, and all of the people that have filmed them covered the points that I would want to cover either way, so I'm not going to talk about that. Also, ignore my hair. It is what it is. I am who I am. So I thought that because I loved the first novel, I just assumed that I was going to love her second novel, which I should have known better because that's not always the case. First of all, I'm just going to show you what my copy looks like. I picked this up right after I finished reading You, just because I was so excited about this. When I found out that she had a second book, I literally lost my shit. I do want to point out that I have tried reading this a total of 3 times and DNF'd them every single time. DNF'd it every single time. It's one thing, not plural. Even after reading the synopsis of it, I still had hope that it was going to be great. Because, honestly, the synopsis sounds exactly like You. I'm just going to read it. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Also, I don't know how long this video is going to be, so I hope y'all got some tea, because it's going to be a minute. So, Joe Goldberg is no stranger to hiding bodies. In the past 10 years, this 30-something has buried 4 of them, collateral damage in his quest for love. Now he's heading west to Los Angeles, the city of second chances, determined to put his past behind him. In Hollywood, Joe blends in effortlessly with his fellow young upstarts. He eats guac, works in a bookstore, and flirts with a journalist neighbor. But while others seem fixated on their own reflections, Joe can't stop looking over his shoulder. The problem with hidden bodies is that they don't always stay that way. They reemerge like dark thoughts, multiplying and threatening to destroy what Joe wants most, true love. And when he finds it in a darkened room in Soho House, he's more desperate than ever to keep his secrets buried. He doesn't want to hurt his new girlfriend. He wants to be with her forever. But if she ever finds out what he's done, he may not have a chance. Now, like I said, the hype for the first book is really what drew me to this book, because that really does not seem like a strong plot for the second installment. Granted, I can't really be surprised because, you know, Joe Goldberg is a serial killer, murderer person, and clearly a deranged psychopath, so what else is he going to do? But I still held out because I really thought that this could be scandalous and interesting, and was slightly disappointed. I also just want to point out that I never, in the 3 times that I've read this book, gotten past chapter 26. And in my book, chapter 26 is on page 199. So I didn't even get to the 200 mark, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. This is how much I've read of the damn thing, and this is how much I had left. So don't come for me. This is just my opinion of why I DNF'd this book. So the first problem that I have with this novel is just the whole driving plot of how he gets to Los Angeles. It just really doesn't make much sense to me. And I get it because he's like irrational and kind of crazy. But I don't understand. I feel like it's so not a Joe move to chase this Amy girl. And I don't know what Katniss was trying to do with this plot point. I don't know if she was trying to show that Joe's mental like state is deteriorating even further and he's becoming even more psychopathic. I don't know, but it was really bothering. Like, he knew this girl for I don't even know how many months, but not very long. All that we get out of his relationship with her is that they had sex in like crazy kinky places, and that she was like a literature buff, aka she was basically Beck with blonde hair. I'm pretty sure she was blonde with blonde hair. So I don't know if that's her way of saying that he had a type or a lack of character development. I'm not really sure, but there was nothing super fantastic about her. There was nothing super interesting about her. I was like, okay, I don't really care. She's a con artist. She just seems like all of those young adults that try to make it in, like, you know, the acting industry and kind of fail and just are trying to find the next thing. That's what her character reminds me of. And I didn't care about that. I just wondered why Joe was so drawn to her. I feel like there was a logical reason why he was so attached to Beck in the first novel, but this one, it didn't seem that way, and it kind of seemed a little reckless on his point to basically uproot himself and go to Los Angeles, knowing that he has a trail of bodies, but just say, fuck those bodies, I'm gonna go chase this girl, and then kill her too. That's the best thing. He went to LA to kill Amy. That kind of blew my mind. I felt like that was a little far-fetched. But, you know, first time I read it, I was like, I'm going to just keep trying. I'm going to keep pushing through because it's got to get good. And honestly, I thought that Amy was the love interest, but she's not. I believe the love interest's name is Love, I think, which is kind of funny, but I didn't really get that far enough to talk about that. Yeah, the plot, like, that plot was a little far-fetched for me, and just everything he was doing up until the point where he meets Love, I guess her name is, just seems not very Joe to me. Like, doesn't really fit his personality from, like, the last book. I'm actually going to start pointing out some things that I've highlighted or marked down that were first problematic and then things that I liked. So, for example, there is this passage. That fucking mug haunts me. I understand that there are consequences. I'm not unique. To be alive is to have a mug of urine out there. But I can't forgive myself for screwing up, like some girl for getting a cardigan after a one-night stand. The mug is a flaw. Proof that I'm not perfect, even though I usually so precise, so thorough. So I feel like Joe didn't really have that thinking process in the first novel. And honestly, it doesn't really feel like character development. It feels more like telling, not showing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of annoying. I don't know. Maybe it's just a personal preference, but I feel like in the first novel, we saw through his actions that he was on like this high pedestal and he thought he was better than everyone else. But this passage, he's literally pointing out that he's not perfect and that usually he is. And that just kind of drove me crazy. Maybe it's just a little picky thing, but I wasn't digging it. And there's a lot of language like that in this novel, and I'm just like kind of not a fan. I just also feel like there was a lot of foreshadowing of like his fate in this book, especially on like the first couple pages, like 12 and 13. I feel like that scene where he gets pulled over when he's with Amy, they get pulled over by the cop and he's paranoid about the mug that he leaves in Peach's house in the last novel, and then he gets off, and I just felt like she was kind of shoving that idea down my throat that this guy gets away with murder, literally, and that he can't be stopped. And yeah, that was something that really drew me to this book in the first place. Like, the first novel, I really liked that, because usually you don't want to root for somebody who's evil, but I kind of did. Like, I liked his character development in the first novel. Now it's just kind of like overkill, and even though I didn't finish the book, I really do hope that he gets caught on something really fucking petty, because it's annoying at this point. I don't know. And, like, it's not even just that scene with the cop. I feel like there's a lot of parts in this novel where he just, like, has no explanation as to why he's there, who he is, but still he morphs himself into every situation completely fine, and he gets off really easy. Like, like I said, that was something that was cool and awesome in the first novel, but now we're in the second novel, and now I just feel like it's a slap in the face to the readers, especially since there's no inner thought. Like, he's becoming cocky, and it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like I don't really like him anymore. Like, honestly, like, I kind of want someone to just shut this guy up and, like, arrest him for killing his ex-girlfriends and Peach and stuff. So it's like, But above all else, this is like the biggest thing that annoys me about this novel is that it literally is the same plot that it was from You. Like, it's literally just him doing the same thing all over again. And if this was like a movie, that would be fine, because visually we like seeing repetitive patterns in like film and movies. That's why there's like a million Halloween movies. There's a million like just scary movies that like kind of revolve around the same kind of topic, because that's cool because it's a visual. But when it's in a book, it's really annoying and really repetitive, because we read to see character development and to see change. Well, most people. I'm not going to say everybody. I'm not going to put that label on everybody. I do. And he was my favorite character. And I just feel like we're just going through the same motions again. And I wanted something else to happen to him. I wanted him to maybe become a little bit more sharp and think about his actions and kind of like not regret them, but also not be naive enough to fucking uproot his life and go to LA and try to chase after a girl. Like, if that's his motive, if like love is his motive, I feel like there's another way to do it. I feel like there's more of a riskier way to do it, where he stays in New York and something other than what happened happens, if that makes any sense. So that was probably the biggest disappointment, and that's probably the biggest reason why I DNF'd this book. I just felt like I'm not going to waste my time or effort trying to read something that I just already read, you know what I mean, and I already loved. One thing that I could say about reading this book is that it kind of made me realize that I really didn't read You in like as critically as I read this. And after I like got to the point where I decided I couldn't read this anymore, I started thinking about points in You that were problematic. Like I said, there are a lot of reviews on You, and these, like, you know, people pointed these points out, but this book really makes those points more evident. I don't know Caroline Kepnes's history, or like if there's a controversy of her lack of diversity in her books, but I really felt like there was a weird lack of diversity in this book. And as far as I got when they talked about love, I'm pretty sure they implied that she was a woman of color. I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think that they described her skin to be bronze or gold. I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure that was all the character, like, description that we get from her. That she has bronze or gold skin, and that her family has a lot of money. And that's it. Like, I don't really have a problem with that, because I feel like I said, other people have touched base on this problem, on this issue. But my thing is, like, if you're going to put in a person of color because you lacked it in your first novel, the least you can do is give her more of a personality, or even describe her physicality in a better way. Like, I don't know what golden skin means. Is my skin golden? Is an African American woman's skin golden? Is an Asian woman's skin? Like, that is probably something that really annoyed me. Like, I pointed it out, and I'm just like, after DNFing this so many times, I did just start connecting the dots to her first book, and I did start thinking about why it's so problematic. I do know that in her series, I don't remember her name is, but she is a woman of color. She's playing Peach, so that's nice, and I know people have a problem with that, but there is literally no diversity in the whole cast. Like, there is none. So the least that they could do is make Peach a woman of color. Like, my God. I kind of realized that this book was just one of those books that you write to make more money. Okay, so you watch these book reviews of people talking about this and making this point, and you're like, well, obviously that's what the book is about. But when you are personally attacked like I am, when it's your favorite book of the year, and there's like a sequel, and you read the sequel, or you try to read the sequel, and you realize that it's literally just like a money-making gag, like she just wrote it because she wanted to make money off of it, that's when you get upset. And that's what I felt like. That's how I felt. Like, I felt like I was being robbed as a fan with this book, just because it wasn't great. It wasn't even good, in my opinion. I felt like her writing was forced. I felt like it wasn't unique to Joe. I felt like she was trying too hard at this point to make him sound crazy. When she wrote her first book, his crazy was in like the way that it was written was a very subtle way, and that's what made him crazy. This book just feels like she's telling us that he's insane, but not really showing us. Like, it doesn't connect the dots, especially the whole uprooting thing is always going to kill me. That did not connect the dots at all. And also, if you're going to make it a sequel, why don't you actually try a new premise of the novel? Why does it have to be the same blueprint of your first book? That's what annoys me. So yeah, after I've realized these things and pointing them out, I just could not finish this book. And this, oddly enough, I'm the kind of person that doesn't usually like DNFing books because I get a lot of stress because I'm like, well, why can't I finish this book? Everyone else finished it, why can't I? But I don't want to stress out over this book no more. It's not worth it. And if you're asked, like, if you want my opinion as to if you should read this or not, I'd say to each their own. You might get a whole different reading experience than I did, but personally, this book was garbage to me. I probably will never read it. I'm probably going to actually give it away or donate it. So I do plan on watching the series because like I said, is still, like, You is still very near and dear to my heart. I do want to see what they're going to do. I, however, am not happy about the cast, and I do plan on doing, like, a first episode review or reaction when the show comes out, so you guys will see more about that later on. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys like this video. Comment down below what you guys think of the series. Like, did you like Hidden Bodies? What did you think about it? Also, give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you want to see more kind of like ranty, not really reviews, or just maybe even reviews. If you want to see reviews, give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel. I make a lot of different content, and I would love for you guys to be a part of my community. Click that bell, that notification bell, to be notified when yours truly uploads, because, like I said before, YouTube can be a butt brain sometimes and not tell my subscribers when I've uploaded. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!